Ready? Set? Adventure! Welcome to Hikanuki World Tour. Join us as we cruise Glacier Bay on Holland America's New Amsterdam. We'll spend the day taking in Alaska's natural beauty, spotting wildlife, and making some new friends. And enjoy a delicious dinner at Morimoto at sea. So come along as adventure awaits.
Hi guys! Welcome to New Amsterdam!
Good Tuesday morning from Holland America's New Amsterdam. It promises to be a busy day as we head to Alaska's Glacier National Park. On Deck 11 in the Crow's Nest, Glacier Bay National Park Rangers and Alaska Native Voices Cultural Ambassador are on board to talk about our day. Let's listen in.
I will be up in the bridge giving the commentary starting at about 10:30 today. So, very interesting as we travel up bay today. We're going to be traveling 65 miles up bay all the way from here to Margerie Glacier. Now, about 300 years ago, we wouldn't have even been able to enter this bay. This entire bay was covered by a glacier 4,000 feet tall. We were not sleeping on your ship or didn't fly on here. What happened was your ship in this middle area, the south part of Glacier Bay, kind of in the Setaka Narrows, your ship slowed down. Your boat didn't stop, it just came to a slow crawl and dropped down a rope ladder, and we climbed up. If you're worried about getting good pictures, I'd check out the park store for that flash drive as well. So then you can brag on Facebook on what it looks like today. What is the best side of the ship to be on? We say outside.
Also on board today is Alaska Geographic Store, which brought items in for sale.
Just so you all know, all the rangers will be outside talking to you while we're at the glacier. Following that, at 3:30 on the world stage, Ranger Liz is going to be giving her formal ranger program, talking a little bit about the history and mountaineering here in Glacier Bay. Also, if you're looking for any brown or black bears today, I'd also recommend looking on the shore. They like to walk along the beach and eat all the critters in the intertidal zone, like the blue mussels and everything that grows on the rocks. So I'd look out there. There's only 2 cruise ships allowed in Glacier Bay a day, so we are one of the 2 lucky groups traveling up bay today. But private vessels are allowed at a certain number. Everything's monitored by the Park Service, of course, and have to have a permit, but people are allowed to kayak, hike, and explore all this wilderness however they see fit.
The day's schedule with approximate times was posted so we could plan our day. We approached the table to get a better look at what was presented. We were able to meet and speak with the Alaska Native Voices Cultural Ambassador, Fred Fulmer. He had many important items on display.
Yake Sustat, good morning, Saha, coming to you from Glacier Bay on New Amsterdam. Anyways, I'm here with Alaska Native Voices. This is the ancestral homeland for my mom, for the people from Huna, Chukanedi. So we call this Sit Itigai Kwan, our ancestral homeland. So this is my regalia that I have here that I'll be using today. I'm an artist, so I do the wood carvings and stuff like that over there. And so I come on board and I talk about how Glacier Bay was for when my mom, so like later today, towards the end of the day, I'll be down on the world stage and I'll be talking about Glacier Bay through my mom's eyes. And this is going back 88 years ago when my mom was 12 years old, when the families would come up in here, hunt seals, and they would hunt mountain goat, and they would fish, and they would gather foods and live here from springtime till fall time. So I'll talk about that. I'm going to talk about how life was then, because there's a point in time like right now. Currently, I can't go and do that right now because it was a national monument, the national park. So I can't come up here and experience those things. But I talk about the way it was, and I talk about how Huna, because Huna is This is our ancestral homeland. We call Huna, we don't call it our Kwan. Kwan means that's your homeland for since time immemorial. Huna isn't our Kwan. Glacier Bay is. So we say, Tigai Kwan. This is our ancestral homeland. So I like coming up in here and talking about how life was and talk with people, share language, song, dance, and just answer questions that way. So kind of in a way, I'm a cultural bearer. And so that's the way I look at it, because I do more than just, I'm wearing my regalia, I'm wearing my vest that my uncle, when he passed away, was handed down to me. And then, so all these things here is part of the Tlingit, our history, and what we wear for what we call our regalia. And so I have 467, 469 YouTube videos. I have my card and this and that, QR code and all those wonderful things. And it's all about sharing Tlingit culture on every different level, with song, dance, storytelling, artwork, all of that. It's all part of the same weave pattern of being Tlingit that way. And so I'm glad to be here and representing Huna, and more importantly, I'm representing my mom, my aunts, uncles, grandparents, and the ancestors here in the ancestral homeland. So that's all right. Thank you so much. Oh, hey, you're quite welcome. You're welcome.
Here's his information. We went to his talk later in the afternoon, and he was a very fascinating and engaging person. And we were lucky to learn more about his culture. It was a bit colder and much windier today, so we were going to have to bundle up. We'll be heading to the bow to get the best views of Glacier Bay National Park. We were starting to see some patches of blue sky, and mountaintops were starting to peek out. Inside poolside, there was some cold weather gear for sale today. We went to the buffet to see what was cooking for breakfast.
How's it going?
Welcome, good morning to the crepe station. It's a creping morning. Welcome to the Glacier Bay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. How are you, my brother?
We usually chose to eat breakfast at the buffet. It was fast and there was a wide selection of items. And the crew always got our day off to a good
How are
start.
you doing today?
And my personal favorite was always the made-to-order omelet. They were always generous with the ingredients, and omelets were always delicious.
Sir, would you like some omelet?
And our omelets were always the best when Jubilee and Patricia were working.
Jack,
That's a breakfast of champions right there.
subscribe and like.
You gotta
Shout out to
remember,
my
Patricia
family.
and Jubilee.
Shout out to my son. Hi guys. Welcome to New Amsterdam.
Perfect every time.
There you go, looks perfect.
Oh, thank you, sir. Enjoy your day.
If you're looking for a winner every time, it's hard to beat the omelet, especially with the side of bacon and sausage. What a great way to start the day and get us ready for Glacier Bay. Now that's a 5 shaka omelet made with precision and care. And not to mention lots of cheese. After heading back to the cabin to bundle up, we headed outside. The glaciers we'll be seeing today are Tidewater glaciers. A Tidewater glacier is a glacier fed by enough snow that it flows out of the mountains and down to the sea. Tidewater glaciers break off or calve and drop pieces of ice into the seawater. Because this process is completely unpredictable, You have to get very lucky to be able to witness it, and even luckier to capture it with a camera. So we'll see what we can do. Right now we're passing by Gloomy Knob. Mountain goats call Gloomy Knob home. According to the Park Service, Gloomy Knob is remarkably barren of vegetation compared to surrounding landscape. And the mountain goats here are uniquely adapted to the rocky cliffs. As I mentioned, be sure to bring binoculars. After passing Gloomy Knob, we went back inside the crow's nest to see what was happening. Park Ranger Liz and Cultural Ambassador Fred were talking to the many people who had gathered and answering questions. Fred had brought some of his regalia and had it on display. He's an artist and carver and presented some of his work. He was very proud and passionate about his heritage and was the perfect cultural ambassador. He was also very articulate and a great storyteller.
However, we will not be visiting the Muir Glacier today.
Because of weather conditions, you're never quite sure what glacier you're going to be able to visit. It's one way they get you to come back on another Alaskan cruise. And if you have a national park passport booklet, be sure to bring it along and get your stamp. The trip from Bartlett Cove, where we picked up the Rangers, to the Tidewater glaciers is 55 miles. In 1925, Glacier Bay was established as a protected area, then in 1980 as a national park, and in 1992 a UNESCO World Heritage Site. There are no roads in the national park, and it's only accessible by waterways. The surrounding areas are pristine and mostly untouched, and part of the reason we love Alaska. If you have a balcony cabin, you'll be able to see the scenery. The ship will stop at Margerie Glacier for 30 minutes, turn, and remain there for another 30 minutes so that each side of the ship will see the same scenery. However, viewing from the bow will give you better views as you traverse the bay. Also, you may see wildlife on either side of the ship at any time, so being on the bow gives you a better chance for wildlife spotting. We were afraid that we would regret not having a balcony cabin, but the experience of viewing from the bow was really unbeatable. And as I mentioned when we were at Hubbard Glacier, being out on the bow with lots of other people means more eyes spotting wildlife. Although we didn't see any mountain goats or even whales, one of our young fellow passengers spotted a bear over on the beach and pointed it out to everyone, which I don't think we would have seen on our own. So I'd say even if you do have a balcony cabin, come on out to the bow for the camaraderie and wonderful experience. When we got as far as we could go in the bay, we stopped to view Margerie Glacier. The ship stopped here for an hour, providing plenty of opportunity for the perfect photo. And you won't want to miss the special experiences that await on the bow. We were served Alaskan glühwein, which really hit the spot. It was warm and spiced, and just what the doctor ordered on a cold day. We had the drink package, but otherwise it was $10.75. If you have the drink package, you still have to sign for each drink, as there's a daily 15-drink limit. Make sure to get a picture with one of the glaciers in the background. There are more than 1,000 glaciers in the national park, but only a few extend down to the sea. Let's stop with the ship to take in the stunning scenery as we enjoy our Alaskan glühwein. Don't look now, but there's a big boat coming.
That's the Euro Dam.
Yep, that's Holland America's Eurodam. Only 2 ships are allowed to be in Glacier Bay at one time, and today they're both Holland America line. Holland America has been cruising to Alaska since 1947. Because of their history cruising Alaska, they are provided with more permits to visit Glacier Bay than any other cruise line. Also in 2025, they're guaranteeing that passengers will see a glacier. Maybe not Glacier Bay, but at least one of the glaciers. And what's coming into view now? An ice floe with otters. They always seem to be having such a great time. Their population in Glacier Bay is estimated to be 8,000. They're voracious eaters of shellfish. We saw some alongside the ship, floating on their backs and eating shellfish. They also like to hitch a ride on the floating ice chunks. With so many living here, you'll probably spot a few yourself. And now it's time for our next treat, Holland America's traditional signature Dutch pea soup. It was hot and thick and more like a stew. 4.5 shakas for this timely treat. Everyone seemed to enjoy their pea soup, with some people even asking for the recipe. Just go to Holland America's website where the recipe is published. And are we sailing on glass or water? And this is Margerie Glacier. It's one of the most active and most photographed glaciers in the park. It hails from the snowfields of the Fairweather mountain range with elevations of over 9,000 feet. When it meets the seawater, calving occurs, causing the jagged formations that you see. Everyone was keeping a close eye out for a calving to occur, but unfortunately we didn't witness one. The Margerie Glacier is said to move 6 feet every day. I guess she's trying to get her steps in. This is at the northern reach of the Tar Inlet, and we can go no further, so it's time to turn this ship around. Cultural Ambassador Fred was dressed in his regalia out on the bow, answering questions, telling stories, and interacting with the passengers. And majestic Margerie was in the background. This is how I've always pictured a glacier, kind of a river of frozen ice coming down out of the mountains. You really have to take a moment to pause and take in the scenery. After 30 minutes, the ship turned, providing the same view whether you were port or starboard side. But again, I thought the bow was the best place to be. The Belle was blessed on her inaugural cruise in 2010. Fred was posing with the passengers for pictures in front of the Margerie Glacier.
Hello, everybody from Glacier Bay.
At 4 o'clock today in the World Theater, Fred was going to present the stories of his people, and we're very much looking forward to attending. Since the ship was about to turn, we headed aft for a different perspective. The pool deck was a pretty busy place too. And the birds were enjoying whatever the ship's motor was turning up. Ranger Rachel was back here answering questions. She had mentioned earlier that the best side for viewing is outside, and I think she's absolutely correct. There were a few people taking in the views from the hot tub, but nobody was in the pool. It had turned out to be a beautiful day, but it was still a bit brisk. You can really see that glacial silt in the water. They were also selling warm cocktails at the pool bar, but what could be better than an Icy Bay IPA? On our ride from Anchorage to Whittier, the bus driver told us about the board tides, and when conditions are right, people could actually go surfing there. New York Pizza was a busy place. On our cruise, whole pizzas were made to order, but pizza was not available by the slice. You placed your order, were given a pager, and then buzzed when the pizza was ready, so it was always hot and fresh. They used the super hot pizza ovens, so it didn't take long for your pizza to be ready. I've heard that the MSC cruise line has the best pizzas, but these were pretty good. The fact that they're made fresh and served hot is definitely a selling point. We had half meat lovers and half fresh tomato. Meat lovers had sausage, pepperoni, ham, and bacon. Ingredients were fresh, crust was crispy, but there wasn't much of a cheese pull. We're passing one of the other notable glaciers, the Lamplugh. This glacier has recently been grounded, and water only reaches it during high tide. As we head out of Glacier Bay, let's continue to look at the scenery. While we've been a little disappointed in not seeing much wildlife, there's certainly no disappointment from the stunning scenery. Playing pickleball in the shadows of the glaciers. Now that's something special. Of course, the moving ship adds a new element to the game, as does the distraction of the scenery. But these folks seem to be handling the challenge quite well. We stopped at the Seaview Bar for the drink of the day, which was the painkiller. And we couldn't resist a little dessert, so we had some bread pudding and coconut pie. All the desserts we had on Holland America were very tasty.
Give me your eyes. My Tlingit name is Sakka. My English name is Fred Fomer. I'm from the Chukanady clan, the Iceberg House. I'm the grandchild of the Duckdane Ton. My family comes through Huna, and Glacier Bay is my ancestral homeland. And I'm happy to be here to share with you Tlingit Kusti, Tlingit way of life. Yahweh! 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 And that means, and that's the way it is. Glacier Bay is 3.3 million acres of land, the same size as Connecticut. Stuyek! Stuyek! Kwasatine! Kwasatine! Stuyek! Kwasatine! Stuyek! Kwasatine! And that means I'll see you later.
Thank you all so much. I hope you've had a wonderful day in Glacier Bay and enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you.
We were getting close to Bartlett Cove, so it was almost time for our visitors to return home. The cruise ship doesn't stop, but rather their boat pulls alongside and a rope ladder is thrown down. The rangers and team descend the ladder to the boat and return home. Since we missed this process this morning, we didn't want to miss our chance to wave goodbye. Everyone got back on board safely and they headed back to Bartlett Cove. Farewell and thanks for a wonderful and informative day. And to top things off, we saw a pod of humpback whales.
The whole pod?
Now that's magical.
It's amazing.
What a day we had in Glacier Bay. We jumped in the elevator to head downstairs to catch some music before dinner time. After changing for the evening, we stopped in at the game show and then headed to Billboard Onboard.
I don't want to leave him now. Oh, you know I believe in how.
Can I get
Eleanor Rigby picks up the rice in a church where a wedding has been. Lives in a dream, waits at the window, wearing the face that she keeps in a jar by the door.
Tonight's show in the theater was Mike Robinson, a comedian. On our way to dinner, we ran into Sea Otter, the mascot. Tonight we were dining at the specialty restaurant Morimoto at Sea.
Hello. How are you? Good. How are you?
There's a sushi bar here, which you can order from either Morimoto's or Tamarind.
Is he here tonight, Chef Morimoto? Is he here?
He's in the... Okay, he's talking about...
Oh, okay. You're Chef Morimoto. Okay. All right. Thank you.
This is Iron Chef Masahiro Morimoto's restaurant. We were dining late, about 9:30, and the sun was just about to set. It's a smaller restaurant and wasn't crowded this late. We were seated by our favorite hostess at a table with a view.
My name is AJ and I'll be your waitress for the dinner this evening.
The menu features Pan-Asian specialties and sustainable seafood. We started the meal with a sake and lychee martini. The martini was mellow and the perfect start to the meal.
Hello, thank you. That looks
My
delicious.
pleasure. That's the sticky wing.
Oh, the sticky rib.
The hoisin sweet sauce. And this one.
We've had these before and they're always one of our favorite things. The sauce is sticky and sweet and the rib meat falls off the bone. The perfect appetizer. We tried the pork gyozo dumplings.
Perfect.
Just enjoy.
Thank you.
I like that these were served on a hot plate so that they stayed hot. They may look a little pale, but they were cooked perfectly with a mild pork filling. And our perfect table had the perfect view of the setting sun. I had the beef tenderloin with Japanese-style mushroom gravy served on a hot plate. And yes, it was as good as it looked. On the side were tempura sweet potato and bok choy. The filet was tender and cooked perfectly and probably one of my favorites on a cruise ship. The mushroom gravy and hot plate really made it memorable. My husband had the crispy whole fish, which was a branzino, and it was served with a sweet tamarind chili sauce. Holland America is serving sustainable seafood in all of its restaurants, including the buffet. My husband would definitely recommend the fish. It was served with bok choy, and we also had a side dish of wasabi mashed potatoes. Outside, the Celebrity Edge was passing by. It was a little eerie in the haze.
Bottom, you got rice pudding, you got the popro candy, coconut foam, shredded coconut, roasted man, and mango yuzu. Dark chocolate spear with vanilla cream,
Ready.
dark chocolate sorbet, and hot caramels.
This dessert was not only beautiful and amazing, but delicious as well. It was probably the best dessert we had all week, and we had some good desserts. It was worthy of 5 shakas. Of course, the rice pudding with coconut couldn't compare. But it was very good. It was light and not too sweet, and a good offset to the rich chocolate dessert. In the Rolling Stone Lounge, the band had the night off, and it was time for line dancing. And in Billboard Onboard, the solo guitarist was performing, and the folks in the lounge and in the casino were enjoying the music. We tried our luck at Quick Hit. In case you don't know, although it looks like the more firecrackers you get, the closer you are for the bonus, this isn't true because that's just a graphic. Of course, its purpose is to make you think that you're almost to the bonus and to keep gambling. Luck was evasive, so we went back to our cabin. Tomorrow we'll be in Skagway, Alaska. We'll be taking a scenic train ride on the White Pass and Yukon Railway. And we'll check out the town of Skagway. And we hope you'll join us. Thanks for joining us at Hikanuki World Tour as we cruise through Alaska's Glacier Bay. Our travel wisdom for today comes from Louis Agassiz. The glacier was God's great plow, set at work ages ago to grind, furrow, and knead over, as it were, the surface of the earth. Be sure to subscribe to Hikanuki World Tour. If you liked the video, click that like button, and we'd love it if you'd leave us a comment. Please subscribe to Hikanuki World Tour, as it really helps our channel grow. Hit that notification button so you'll know when our next video is dropped. And follow us on Instagram. We really appreciate your support.